Welcome to Beneath the Wing. Just like air passing over the wing of an aircraft provides lift, the people we meet can also give us lift in life by sharing their stories of strength and success, connecting us all. Beneath the Wing explores the stories of the men and women connected with the Minnesota Air National Guard's 133rd Airlift Wing. This special series is dedicated to our airmen's first-year stories. Hear from our wing's newest members, from enlisted aviators to electricians, aircraft maintainers to medics, and all jobs in between. These airmen have transformed from high school students to dedicated and involved members of the 133rd Airlift Wing family. In their own words, they'll share how they chose their military job, the connection they have with the team, and how they have changed from young civilian to American airman. I'm your host, Wing Command Chief Mark Legvold. Thanks for joining me on this edition of Beneath the Wing First Year Stories. I'm talking with Airman First Class Logan Monshaugen. Logan is a graduate of Janesville Waldorf Pemberton High School 2021. I want to say go Cardinals, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs, thank you. And he is currently a client systems apprentice with our communications flight. Hey, welcome, Logan, and thanks for the quick correction. Go Bulldogs.
Thank you.
It's great to have you on. Logan, let's start with your story here. Small town, JWP, small high school, and you ended up showing up at the Air National Guard base. How did you find us?
The biggest thing was my brother. He joined it, and he was kind of my mentor, guide. He got me to a recruiter, and he kind of just led me the way. And I just saw the benefits he got, and I wasn't sure what to do after high school, so I wanted to go in that direction. So, yeah, he was the biggest part of that.
And what does your brother do for the Air Force, Air National Guard?
He's in maintenance. He's engines guy, so completely different jobs, but same base, and he's full time.
So he works on those the big jet engines that keep our C-130s going up and coming down
Yep.
safely all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Awesome.
he does.
You're right, Logan. That is a completely different job. You client systems apprentice. That's a fancy term. What is it you say you do here? What's your job?
Simply just IT troubleshooting any problems with computers. I don't do it personally, but we also have guys who work on the networks. But my job specifically is working and troubleshooting just basic computer problems, if it's hardware or software.
So you get to take calls from
Yep.
people in their 40s and 50s who don't know how to access a word processing document on their computer.
That is the main part, but that's why we're here to help out, make sure
One of,
things go smoothly.
one of the questions I've always asked is, how do you keep from laughing when people like us call you?
Oh, it's simple. We laughed after the call. but
Totally fair.
but no, we kind of get used to it. I mean, we can be dumb too with simple problems, and we help each other out in the unit, and then we learn, and then we help others. Simple as that. It's a great environment.
Yeah, it also sounds like you get a chance to talk to a whole lot of people across the base, right?
Hmm. Yep, and
Awesome.
we even go to other places in the base if we have to pick up a computer or if we go check it out ourselves. So yeah, we get out of the office a lot, despite what seems like.
Sounds like a good job. I mean, people think about I don't, the nerd herd is the loving term that we use for folks in our communications flight, but you people think of that, and people that like being in a closet with computers, not necessarily the big outgoing likes to get out
Hmm.
around people. Which side of the fence are you on?
I'm kind of both. I mean, I can happily stick to myself, but if you throw me in a outgoing situation environment, I am all for it. So that's why I like this job. There's moments where we can kind of be by ourselves, work on our own things, and then we have moments too where we're going out helping people, talking to people. So for me personally, it's really great, and I get to see both sides. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it sounds like you get to balance a little bit
Hmm.
of both, and that's awesome. You know,
Definitely.
you think computers, you think communications, and you don't necessarily think this is something we need military people doing. But
Yeah.
it is an important job when it comes to the what the military does, right?
Hmm.
Now,
Definitely. I
now
mean,
as go ahead.
yeah, when you think of your average military guy, I mean, computer guy doesn't really come in there, but I mean, you need these type of people to help out. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you joined the military, obviously you joined the military for a specific reason. What was your specific reason?
Like I just said, I wasn't sure what to do, and I wanted that like foundation in my life, and just have something to be proud of that I could look back on. Be proud of that I served. And I never really thought about it, but it was always in the back of my mind. And then, when it was my senior year of high school, I was like, okay, I'm not sure. And I was just like, yeah, the military is just be good, just get that experience, the discipline, that foundation in life. So yeah, a lot of things that kind of contributed to that.
Yeah. And you joined us in March of 2021. You didn't graduate from Janesville, Waldorf, Pemberton until the spring of that year. So a few months
Yep.
after you joined us,
Yeah.
then you graduated high school. Is that something you see a lot of people doing, or do most people wait until after they graduate?
Um, feel like it's kind of both. I feel like either I just knew since my brother's in, he was like, it's gonna be a while until you can get into basics, so it's better to get signed up earlier. So that's when I did, but you can see a lot of people do it right after high school or whenever. So yeah.
Sure. You had to wait a little bit until you went to basic training. What did you do to get
Hmm.
yourself ready, both mentally and physically, for basic training? Because even people in our communications flight, you have to be physically fit and you have to be
Yep.
ready to go to basic. What did you do to get ready?
Oh, simple. Just worked out, worked on my cardio a lot. I love to run, so that was easy for me. But just making sure I could pass those standards, which is push-ups, sit-ups, and that was one less stress I had to worry about when I got in basic because I knew that I could pass those standards with it was running, push-ups, sit-ups. So that was one less stress, and I focus on that a lot. So that was the biggest thing.
How about mentally? What did you do to get ready?
Mentally, luckily, I had my brother talk about it and just how the experience is. Also, there's videos online about basic, and I watch those a lot. And I just had the mindset of I'm gonna be here 7 weeks. It's not like it's gonna be here forever. I learn, I grow from it. It's an experience. Kind of just enjoy it, even though it sucks. And then you move on, go to tech school. So that was the biggest thing.
So you got through basic training. Wasn't too hard. You do the running. You were mentally prepared for that.
Yep.
Got along pretty well with the people in your flight.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're great guys. Especially
Yeah.
tech school, even better. So yeah.
So tell us about tech school. Where did you go once you graduate from Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas,
Hmm.
with 45, 50 of your closest friends, or at least people you spent all that seven
Yep.
weeks with? You shipped off to someplace completely different. Where did
Yep.
you go?
We went to Biloxi, and we actually took a very long bus ride there. It was almost a day, and but you got that time to relax, be on your phone the whole time, so that was nice, especially after basic. And then yeah, we went to Biloxi, got settled in, and started tech school.
What was the start of tech school like for you? Was it different than basic training? A little bit more relaxed?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, you still got your standards. You still got rules to follow. The 341s. Oh gosh, those are scary, but those are
What
still there. But
what's a 341 for someone that's never been in the military before?
it's a little piece of paper that if you never thought you'd be scared of paper, you will be. But no, it's simply just it's for discipline. If you do something bad or good, that never really happens. But they sign it off. Your drill instructor has to sign it. You have to sign it, and it's just kind of a warning. Get too many of those pulled. That's what they called it. It's gonna be a lot of trouble. But as long as you do your part, you do your thing, you shouldn't have to worry about that.
I'm sure, Logan, with your stellar record of service so far, you never had any of that kind of paperwork, right?
Uh, 341s. I had one, but except for that, I've been good.
It's it's kind of like a yellow card in soccer, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
For sure.
It
So, what
wakes
kind of
you up
things did?
though.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of gets you to straighten up a little bit.
Yeah,
What
definitely.
What kind of stuff did you learn in tech school? What was it like compared to your high school experience?
Um, well, what they call them there wasn't drill instructors. I forget the names for the tech school ones. It was a little different. They didn't like the name, but it was kind of like the military college, but they don't like this that C word college.
Hmm.
But no, you did your thing. You had your own little dorm room, usually with someone else. And you went to your classes, and you kind of just relaxed. But the classes was the main thing. So yeah.
In going to school to learn client systems,
Hmm.
that sounds, for somebody like me that was not a computer native growing up, that sounds like a lot of complex stuff, a lot of complex systems. Was it mostly in the book, or did you do a lot of hands-on, or was there a good mix of both?
Good mix of both. So our first class, which was IT basics, that was a lot more of the book. It was online too at that time. It probably won't be anymore. But no, it was a lot of reading the book, just reading the stuff. It's kind of boring. But my second class, which was client systems, the actual class, it was a mix of both. So that was very good. We got hands on, so that was good.
Awesome. And how long were you down in Biloxi, Mississippi?
Um, I believe it was around 2 months, which for a tech school is very short. So got
Not
very
too
lucky
shabby.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got done with tech school, Logan. You came back to Minnesota, and
Hmm.
you get to spend a little bit of time back at the 133rd at our Air National Guard base, working alongside folks that have been doing this for a really long time, right?
Yep. Definitely.
And
Yep.
what was that experience like? You obviously they didn't just throw you in and say, "Hey, you're running the help desk today, or you're going to go off and fix." Do you feel like you're still actually in an apprenticeship?
Oh, definitely. I mean, with my guys there, I knew them for about a year now because I already been in. So I got back there. I'm like, it was like my family. I'm like, how's it going, guys? So we got into it, and before I even went to basic, they kind of showed me everything. So a lot of it was just they would let me try to do things on my own, but they would be there to help me and let me make sure if I was doing anything wrong and just look over me. So the guys there were really good at that, and I felt very comfortable being there, trying to learn, and yeah, definitely.
People don't consider the military way of life to be something that's nurturing, but what you just described to me sounds very like a nurturing place to grow and learn.
Yeah,
Do you feel that way?
definitely, especially with my unit. I mean, I can't say for other units, but um, for my job, it can be kind of scary. Your first phone call, you're not sure what to do, you're not sure what the problem will be, but knowing that you have guys there that's been there for many years, it's reassuring. And that if you have a problem, just put them on hold, ask the question, they'll let you know. You tell the customer. So yeah, no, it's good.
It's awesome. You chose to go into client systems. How do the skills you've learned through your tech school, through your current apprenticeship, Logan, how is that going to help you in the civilian world? Can you go out
Oh,
and get a job in client systems?
definitely. I mean, majorly. I mean, I'm doing college right now, and a lot of the stuff that I'm learning um, as my job, since I'm doing networking, which is very similar. I'm like, I'm very comfortable with this. Like, there's some stuff I can still learn, but like, I'm very comfortable with the topic, computers, and all that. So definitely it helped me a lot.
Now, you're currently a student at South Central Community College in Mankato, is that right?
Yes. Yep.
You're majoring in networking services?
Yeah. So it's not exactly my job, but it's still working with computers. It's more of just the network guy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Going to a tech school and going through an apprenticeship program in the Air Force through the Air National Guard, Logan. Um, have you used some of the benefits of the training that you've had? You get college credit for what you've earned in the military. Has that transferred into South Central?
Oh yeah, a little bit. I don't
How
have
many?
to do I believe the credits. So like I said, I had two classes. My first class was IT basics. I believe that was 4 credits. And then my client system, which is the main one, I believe was 18. And yeah, that's definitely helped a lot. And then we also even you also get a security plus certificate, which looks very nice on your resume, but it's just basically saying that you know how to work with networks and I forget the exact details, but it just looks very good on your resume. Let's just say that.
For sure. It sounds like you got about a semester and a half of college paid for, and you were paid for taking it through the Air Guard, and then
Hmm.
that Security Plus cert. You're absolutely right. They paid you to get that, didn't they?
Yes. Yep. They even paid for that too. So that's awesome.
That, that is pretty darn good. So we're rolling into a drill weekend, and Logan, you've been with us for a little while now. Understandably, you enjoy coming out to base. What's the thing that you most look forward to on the normal drill weekend?
I'll just see my guys, my unit. I mean, like I said, they're like family to me now. So, we go there. We even have our inside jokes, but we go there to work, and I just love going there and helping out, and I always get that feeling of um, just something I did, for the weekend, even though if it wasn't that much, but I felt like accomplishment. I get that during the weekend, so it's awesome going up there.
Yeah, that's great. The folks in your military family that you get to see one weekend a month, do they all work at other jobs out in the civilian sector, or do some of them work at the base full time?
It's 50-50 for my unit. We have two guys there who are there full time, and then we have one other guy who works civilian full time, and then one other guy in my unit doesn't necessarily work in client systems during the drill, but he's full time in, I believe, KM, knowledge management.
Knowledge management. That's something I
Yep.
struggle with every day. I have to manage my knowledge as much as I possibly can. Little different meaning on that, Logan. Hey, go back to sitting in class at Janesville, Waldorf, Pemberton, and you know you've got the Friday night football game to worry about, or the next wrestling match, or you know the social life that's going on, and just the churn of being a high school student. And think about
Yeah.
what Logan looked like back then. How has your time in the military the last 3 years or so? How have you changed as a person since joining the Air National Guard?
Oh, I think the big thing for me is the confidence. I mean, I don't want that to sound weird, but like, a lot of people don't go in the service. Graduating is a big honor for me. So, and knowing that not many people do that, it's just awesome just to be part of that and knowing that I've done something that most people haven't. So,
That's absolutely a great thing that you know it changes a lot of people, and we don't get that
mhm.
sense of purpose, and we don't get that sense of accomplishment from you know just showing up. There's hard stuff when it comes to
Yeah.
joining the military and being a part of it. What's been the biggest challenge that you feel you've overcome since joining the military?
I think the big thing is not being stressed over paperwork. There's a lot of it in the military, so I've gotten used to that. So that's a big thing. But no, it's just a new environment. Um, it's just um, it's just a new experience. So just getting used to that and just being a part of that is just that's probably the biggest thing too.
Sure. Is there anything in the next 4 to 5 years of military service that you've committed to here that you're looking forward to? And then on top of that, with everything that we look forward to, is there anything that gives you a little bit of anxiousness for the next 4 years or so?
Um, anxiousness. I don't really have too many of those I could think about. I mean, a lot of it is just just those, like I said, that feeling of accomplishments and just keeping going, just improving myself, becoming a better person, and just doing my job, learning more is just what I'm really looking forward to in my service.
Yeah. I asked you to think about what Logan looked like in high school and compare that Logan to this Logan. What's the Logan in 4 years going to look like?
uh, hopefully, just it's even more comfortable with the military, who he is himself and his job, and just not being afraid to just go out and try his thing, just do it.
Yeah. We do get to travel as a part of the job. Are you? do you have any military travels on the horizon for you? And since you've gotten back from tech school, have you had the opportunity to go anywhere with your brothers and sisters in communication flight?
I have not yet. They have gone on many deployments, though. I think the most recent one was that was kind of far away was Japan. But except for that, I'm not sure. I'm not involved in any of the future deployments, I believe, but I could definitely sign up if I wanted to. There's always that choice, so that's awesome. Being this flight.
You get to choose whether you go. Sometimes you don't necessarily get a choice if you absolutely
Yeah.
have to, but
Hmm.
yeah, for the most part, they try hard to just take the willing volunteers.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, what does a communications person do when they do get deployed? I'm sure they talk about it in your group there. What does a deployment look like for an airman that's deployed and is a client systems apprentice or craftsman?
So what I've heard from the stories since I haven't been on one myself personally, a lot of it is our job, but you also can help out with other things. I mean, I've heard a couple of my guys in my unit talk about how they help construct something, and that was able to help the mission there, and just do other things. Just if you're needed, you're able to do it over there, and you can do it regardless if it's even your job sometimes. So that's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, kind of being in that atmosphere of hey, we're all in this together, and everybody
Hmm.
pitches in and gets the job done. So now, finishing up your time at South Central, when are you going to be graduating from your college there in Mankato, and what's next for you on the civilian side, Logan?
Um, So I really want to, yeah, either go networking or just do IT. It's one of those ones, whichever one presents itself better. But with the military and my second plus and my soon to be graduating from South Central, my resume will look really good, and hopefully we can get many offers out there. See, yeah,
Hopefully so. Hopefully so. You spent a lot of time. You grew up in a small town. Grew up in a small town, literally in town, right?
yep, yep,
What was different? Lackland is a huge place. It's just a really
definitely,
ginormous military base in the middle of San Antonio. Um, what was it like going from that small town in Minnesota, mostly agricultural? It's a beautiful spot in the world, but there aren't a whole lot of people, and there's not a whole lot of action. And going into that
yeah.
kind of big city atmosphere, was that a big culture shock for you?
Not necessarily. I mean, with the internet nowadays, there's nothing really shocking, but the biggest shock was our graduating class was 59 people, and that's about around the same number of how many people are in your flight. So it's a lot of people to be around. That was the biggest shock, but it wasn't too bad. Like I said, I can be a people's person, so it wasn't anything too crazy.
I suppose it does help that you enjoy being around human beings, and that definitely
Hmm.
does get. But a different perspective for me, Logan, is the fact that hey, you got the internet, so you can learn a whole lot about that, and your
Yeah.
generation is so much more connected than somebody that's been around for a long time. You think that
Definitely.
makes it easier to go down to basic training?
Oh, 100%. I mean, before you really only had stories of other people who've been in about basic, but nowadays, I mean, you could go on YouTube and just like look it up and just see what it's like. And I use those videos to help me and just kind of see what it's like. So yeah, it's definitely a lot different.
Yeah. It is a great way of learning, and even old dogs
Hmm.
like me can learn some new tricks from the YouTube on the World Wide Web.
Yep.
That's awesome. I've been talking with Logan Monshaugen, and he is one of our client systems apprentices. He's a graduate from Janesville Waldorf Pemberton from 2021, currently attending college while he's also serving in the Air National Guard at the 133rd Airlift Wing in Minnesota. Logan, thanks so much for joining me.
Of course. Thank you.
Absolutely. And if you're interested in learning more, listen to this next message. Thanks for joining me on Beneath the Wing First Year Stories. As always, thanks for joining me on Beneath the Wing. where those connected with the 133rd Airlift Wing, Minnesota Air National Guard share their stories of strength and success. We will be releasing a new first-year story each Tuesday and Thursday throughout the month of February, March, and April. If you think you are someone whose story could be a part of our Wings family here in Minnesota and are seeking direction for your next step in life, or you know someone who is, please explore our opportunities at 133aw.ang.af.mil and share these podcasts. If you're outside our local area but are still interested in serving in the Air National Guard in your state or territory, goang.com will get you started. That's goang.com. As always, I'd like to thank our public affairs section, especially Amy Lovegren, for her post-production and release work. I've been your host, Wing Command Chief Master Sergeant Mark Legvold.